Denver 7 News starts right now.
Right now in Denver 7, the 15-year-old charged in connection with Kaya Campbell's murder back in court today. What we could learn.
Hundreds of people trapped inside a burning building in London. We have the latest on the deadly high-rise fire.
And right now, we want to continue to follow that breaking news out of Virginia. That is where a lone gunman opened fire on a group of Republican congressmen who were practicing for a charity baseball game. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dale Cedars.
And I'm Nicole Brady. New details have been coming in throughout the morning, even in just the past minutes. So let's get right to the latest, what we know right now. Federal authorities have identified the gunman as 66-year-old James Hodgkinson from Illinois. Just about an hour ago, President Trump went on the record and said that the gunman has died after Capitol Police exchanged gunfire with him. Police have only confirmed so far that medics transported Hodgkinson to the hospital.
Now, all of this started around 5 a.m. our time, and that's when the suspect, they say, fired off about 50 rounds. Again, this is at a baseball field in Alexandria's Delray neighborhood. That's about 7 miles from the White House. We do know at least 4 people were shot, and that includes Representative Steve Scalise, who is now in surgery. The good news is doctors say he is expected to be okay. Of the other 3 who were shot, 2 of them were Capitol Police officers. Another was a congressional aide.
The FBI has taken control of the crime scene, and they say the area is secure. Witnesses say it was absolutely chaotic.
And I hear the big blam, and I thought it was a car backfiring at first until I see the rifle barrel and a white male taking careful aim at congressmen, staffers, whoever he could get a hold of.
Now, we understand no local Republicans from Colorado were on the practice field during the shooting, but local Democrats were practicing at a nearby field.
Yeah, and Denver 7's Eric Lufer was on the phone with some of them this morning. Eric, you spoke with Congressman Ed Perlmutter. What did he have to say?
Well, he told me the Democrats were practicing at Gallaudet University northeast of D.C. The Republicans were, of course, practicing in Alexandria, southwest of the Capitol. He described to me over the phone what happened on the field once news came out of the shooting.
None of us could even fathom it. They asked us to get into the dugout. We had to wait for the SWAT team to come. It was pretty weird and intense. I was thinking on my ride over to practice today just what a normal thing this is to go out and play baseball with friends, have friendly competition against the Republicans, raise a lot of money for Boys and Girls Club, and this just sort of shatters that.
And here's a tweet from a Democratic congressman showing a picture of Democrats praying for their Republican colleagues. Obviously, politics have been put aside here as everyone comes together in support of those who were shot. I also called Colorado Republican Congressman Mike Kaufman. He talks about the possibility of this being politically motivated and what he says the shooter asked a congressman on the field before opening fire. That's coming up at 11:30. I'm Eric Lufer, Denver 7.
All right, thanks, Eric. We have, of course, Eric and others in our newsroom monitoring this situation and getting updates. We will bring you those on the air throughout this newscast. You can also get the latest on our website and our app. Now, we have more breaking news right now just coming into the newsroom, and this is another shooting. This one, an active scene right now in San Francisco.
So, again, this is in San Francisco, and we want to give you a live look. This is the UPS store there, where we are told at least 3 people have been shot. We're having some difficulties getting that live video, but the details of this, they're just now coming in. We do know police have taken some people, or they're telling people there to take cover. So, again, this is a UPS warehouse in San Francisco, an active shooter right now. As soon as we learn additional information, we will bring it to you.
We also want to bring you the latest out of London, where at least 12 people are now dead and more than 65 others hurt after a massive fire ripped through a high-rise apartment.
This happened in the middle of the night while hundreds of people were sleeping inside. The video you're looking at here shows the fire just after it first sparked. 40 fire trucks, 20 ambulances, and more than 200 firefighters responded. For a while, several people were worried that this building would collapse. One woman who was able to make it out says the scene was absolutely horrific.
I'm watching people at the windows waving and shouting for help and screaming, and then just seeing their flats sort of engulfed with smoke, and then not knowing whether they were going to be safe or not going to be able to get out.
So here's video of the fire as the sun came up. You can see it was still burning this morning. Medics took 64 people to 6 London area hospitals. 10 others drove themselves. Right now, we're told 20 patients are in critical condition. Doctors say they are treating people for a variety of injuries, including smoke inhalation. So again, that death toll at 6, unfortunately, doctors say could go up even higher. Well, this kind of emergency, of course, can happen anywhere. So we caught up with Denver firefighters about the procedures that are in place here in case of a high-rise fire.
We went back through our archives, in fact, and we found an interview with former Denver District Chief Dave McGrail about how Denver fire crews train for these types of building fires.
Remember, use a 2.5-inch hose line with a solid bore nozzle. Climb coolly, move methodically, and most importantly, be safe.
Wow, well, hopefully we don't have to deal with that too often and haven't here, luckily. But Chief McGrail said high-rise fires present one of the single greatest challenges to firefighters still today.
All right, let's take a big shift now to our weather. It is a gorgeous day outside. Are we going to be dealing with winds again?
No, let's try to lighten things up a bit. Right?
Yeah.
It's been pretty heavy, pretty intense, the start of this newscast. It's gorgeous outside right now. We've got temperatures that are in the 70s, mid-upper 70s, and some calmer conditions. Winds southwest at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. It's really going to be a pretty perfect afternoon. We should be about 5, even 10 degrees warmer than where we are right now by this afternoon. Estes Park, you're at 65, Evergreen 68, and right in and around Denver, we've got temperatures anywhere from 72 to about 77. So it's been a pretty good early morning warm up. We'll be at about 85 between 4 and 5. That's around 2 to 3 degrees above normal under a mostly sunny sky. There is a very, very slim chance that we would pick up an isolated storm or two across northeastern Colorado. You can see some of the spotty activity, but otherwise bone dry across the state, and it's going to get even warmer as the week goes on. Details on that, plus your Father's Day forecast, you guys, coming up in just a few.
Thanks, Lisa. Overnight, someone drove into the side of a King Superstore in Aurora. This is at 7th and Peoria. Police found the vehicle half inside and half outside the building when they got on scene. They say the vehicle had also caught fire, causing the building's sprinklers to go off, and some water damage was caused from that. One person was taken to the hospital. We don't know how badly that person was injured. This afternoon, the 15-year-old under investigation for the murder of 10-year-old Kaya Campbell will be in court. He still hasn't been named.
We are expecting, though, to hear more about the formal charges in this case. And the district attorney could also decide to file a request to try this teenager as an adult. Kaya left her dad's home in Thornton with a 15-year-old 1 week ago today to walk to a nearby store. She never returned, but the boy did. Police issued an Amber Alert the following afternoon, leading, of course, to a large-scale investigation. Colorado is one of the few states in the U.S. that will allow juveniles to be tried as adults. We do have crews following updates, and we'll bring you those once they come in.
The student at a center of a viral video showing a Fort Collins police officer body slamming her to the ground is in court today. Police say 22-year-old Michaela Surratt pushed a bouncer and hit an officer. She was charged with assault. She has a hearing this afternoon for that charge. The officer who was seen in the video is back on the job. The department says he did not break any rules.
3 people are recovering from critical burns after an explosion in Larimer County. This happened in Timnath just before 5:20 yesterday evening. A family member tells us the 3 were digging a hole to change some kind of propane tank when suddenly something exploded. This family member describes what happened.
I was inside, they came out running. Fucking hurt. Michael was pretty burned, his skin was hanging bad. And my brother, he was hanging too, his skin was burning. But the little one got burns right here on his eye. He couldn't open his eyes.
An investigation is now underway to try and figure out what caused that blast. All of this comes as there has been growing concern in our state about open gas lines, but authorities with Larimer County say that's not the case here.
Colorado oil and gas officials, meanwhile, are ventilating a home after gas built up near the foundation to explosive levels. The gas was odorless and came from a well no longer in operation. This is in the town of DeBeck near Grand Junction. Officials say they have the gas down to safe levels, and the family is still living at the home. Xcel Energy found the gas while doing a driving survey last month. We asked how often they do these kinds of checks, and we were told they do them every day at all times in all areas.
A new report shows Russian hackers hit voting systems in 39 states during the last election cycle, but But Colorado was not one of them. We checked with our Secretary of State, who says his office deals with about a dozen different hack attempts every day. None have been successful, he says. Russian leaders have denied any role in cyber attacks connected to the election.
Today, nearly 200 Democratic members of Congress filed a lawsuit against President Trump. Today happens to be the president's birthday. He's 71 today. The lawsuit accuses the president of violating the Constitution by accepting foreign payments without congressional approval. The payments at issue are related to his business dealings. For example, when he has accepted money from foreign diplomats who stay at Trump hotels. Meanwhile, Republican leaders are now saying they to vote on a health care bill before lawmakers take their July 4th break. This comes just a day after President Trump met with members of Congress to talk about progress on that bill. He told Republican senators the bill needs more money, and he called the first draft, which failed, mean.
In the meantime, there's an upside on the health care front when it comes to veterans in our country. The House overwhelmingly approved a bill to hold the VA more accountable. So there are two big takeaways in this. First, it makes it easier to fire employees for misconduct. And second, it protects whistleblowers who uncover wrongdoing. All it needs now is the president's signature.
After months of delays, trains are finally running again on the G line. That's the commuter rail line that runs from Union Station to Wheat Ridge. But you can't actually ride the train yet. This is just the testing phase. Testing came to a halt last fall because of software problems affecting crossing gates. The same problems have plagued the A line to DIA. RTD is making progress fixing that issue and recently got federal and state approval to resume testing on the G line. Businesses near the Old Town Arvada station say they are cautiously optimistic.
I mean, I can see the station from the window, so I think as people are coming to Old Town for some of these great restaurants and other shopping, we're just going to be right here in front of them for them to stop by and grab a flower or two on their way to dinner. So excited to have more exposure.
An RTD spokesperson told us in May that they are very confident they'll have the G line open by the end of this year.
We are less than a year away from learning whether the FAA will grant Spaceport Colorado a license to start launching people into space. Officials with the FAA visited the Front Range Airport on Tuesday, and they said they could make a decision within the next 7 to 8 months.
Well, the military now has control over how many troops are fighting the war in Afghanistan. Coming up, we'll go over the plans.
Plus, the American college student held by North Korean authorities is now back home. Details on how he's doing.
And first, a massive manhunt still underway in Georgia at this hour. Who police are looking for?